So I've been waiting nearly 2 years to share this with you. And I'm going to do things a bit differently today. I never would have thought that I can create something like that, or it would be beneficial, or it would save me money. I thought of this one, which I created on the way home at around 3 a.m. in the Uber. I was chatting to the Uber driver, and I thought, well, we were chatting, and he was telling me, the percentages that they pay and so on. And obviously at 3 a.m., you want to help everybody, especially after a few tequilas. So I thought, what would it take to build the equivalent of Uber so that we don't, rip the drivers off, etc. And here's my cat. That's why I'm standing and wearing white, because my little, let me share him with you. My little white Fluffy likes climbing on me with his white fur, and then I'll get covered in fur in 10 minutes. So hopefully you don't see the fur in this picture. Okay, let me sort him out and I'll be back. Much nicely. Look what you did, Lightning. It's one of the big, I think, reasons that it's I get goosebumps. That oh jeez. That it's great to see what people are doing now and how oh jeez, bad goosebumps. How it's benefiting their lives already now, even before the. So here's just the normal query where the agent, on the back end you can see there the agent has searched the internet, it's got all the links, etc. And in this case now the agent has explained to us. Get my hand here. Larry Ellison, $100 billion richer, and this was in one day. So for those people that are on the fence, is artificial intelligence here? Is it coming? Do you need to start looking at it? Is it worth your while, perhaps? Well, if this man, one single man, in one day made $100 billion, it's probably time to start looking at this technology and seeing how you can use it. So when I sat down to start putting this together for you, I thought back to where this all started nearly 2 years ago. And I have this really small passage in my house. It's literally a few meters long. And I used to pace up and down like a crazy person, figuring out how am I going to do this? Am I going to do this? Why am I doing this? And one of the key things that I can just picture vividly is the intention, the why am I doing this? Is sharing Sheldon with the world an option, right? The moment I decided that I have to quit my career and it's the only option to develop Sheldon fully and share it with you, was listening to some of the big CEOs, I won't mention their names, and them basically saying, well, point blank saying that artificial intelligence is going to replace you and there's no other option, and don't worry, we'll give you this universal basic income, which is shocking on so many levels. We'll go through this quite a bit later, practically, existentially, financially, why this fails across the board. But when I saw that and people not pushing back, people accepting that they have no control over their future, and let's just trust some of these big companies to hopefully pay us something even though we do nothing, is a serious problem. And unfortunately, even today, there's still so many people that are sort of trapped in this prison where they don't think they have the capabilities, or they don't know how to, or think there's some, fancy skills out there required to use this technology to make their lives better, to make them irreplaceable, to help their personal lives, etc. And unfortunately, there are still so many people that believe in this false narrative that's getting pushed by these big corporates, that the only option you have is to give up your control of your future, give up your existential worth, and let artificial intelligence just do everything, or do everything that you do, and all your value add to society, to your family, to your professional career. And you just need to give it up, and we need to trust that big corporate will hopefully give us a handout. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of people like this, and I'm sure you all have a friend like this that you can think of, that is just getting influenced by all this propaganda, all of this narrative that's getting pushed by these top CEOs. So there's actually something else that I just thought of right now, and that is for all you men out there. In general, on average, women are attracted to a perceived level of competence. So, are you able to generate resources, right? And as men out there, if you're willing to or happy to just sit back on the couch, never do anything, never achieve anything, just let artificial intelligence do it all for you, trust me, I don't think that is very attractive to many women. If you're just happy to hopefully receive some money from big corporate, and you never really do it or achieve anything because you don't have to. Artificial intelligence will do it for you. So that's just something else I thought of. So men out there, if you would like to have a partner one day, don't fall for this narrative that you can just go lie on the beach or lie on your couch, get fat, never do anything. Um, we still need to demonstrate that we can actually achieve and do something and be competent, or else the birth rate is going to decline even further. While we're on the subject of competence, let me maybe pull up some feedback we got when we shared some teasers around Sheldon. So
Hi, Craig.
please can you search YouTube for AI Sheldon 3D application leaves the AI Advantage speechless. So we'll let that agent go off and retrieve that video for us. I'm not sure if you've seen the AI Advantages channel, but they also have an application or a community where they're also out there to try and teach people how to use artificial intelligence, where they can use it, and so on. And they had this competition to build an application using artificial intelligence. I won't say the Vibe something else term, but yeah. So we threw an application together, and I'll share with you what they said about it.
This is so unique. This is so unique, Craig. I mean, thank you for submitting this. Honestly, I just want to know more about what is Sheldon.
With myself,
Sheldon
I see
AI
I'm
agent.
covering the screen there.
So if this is not creative, I don't know what is. He used a 3D game with a maze to make his point. I want to know more. Yeah, this is probably something that Craig
Anyway,
created
so
here.
you
But
kind
I
of
mean, how amazing!
get
I
the
just haven't
point.
seen it yet.
So move myself back into position. So in today's, what I'm going to share with you now, I'm not going to go through all the technical, the new latest advancements and so forth. Or actually, so instead of sharing the same application to answer some of the AI advantages questions, as well as share what I'm going to share with you today, I thought let me share another one of the other random applications that I've created or I've got my agents to create for me. And I thought of this one, which I created on the way home after let's just say a fun celebratory evening at around 3 a.m. in the Uber. So let me just quickly make this full screen for you. Let me pop him up there. So let me turn on the control. So let me start the flight as well, then I can carry on talking. So this application was I was chatting to the Uber driver, and I thought, well, we were chatting, and he was telling me, the percentages that they pay and so on. And obviously, at 3 a.m., you want to help everybody, especially after a few tequilas. So I thought, what would it take to build the equivalent of Uber, so that we don't, rip the drivers off, etc. So I started building a maps application, and then obviously got bored fairly quickly. And one of the things me and my friends do, instead of being weird and sending each other "I'm home in bed safely" message, We get each other to send a picture of something random in our house to show that we are home safe that evening. And I was supposed to send a picture of my remote control airplane models that I've designed and built. Let me actually pause it there. It's going to be quite cool, I think. And so instead of, obviously at 3 a.m., I got bored of the Uber challenge. So instead thought, how can I get a 3D map, and actually, is it possible even to, create some kind of flight simulator where I can then send a picture of an aeroplane, but something a bit more exciting. So this is actually what I created, or one of my agents created for me. So let's resume the flight again. So this is actually quite cool. And I'm actually what I'll do is I'm actually gonna share this application for a limited time. Obviously our servers are getting smashed a bit at the moment. So just until the sort of everything normalizes. But yeah, I'll share this, and there's a couple other applications that I literally just asked my agents, please create this for me. And they went off, and actually, I mean, everything you're seeing now is created applications on Sheldon, one of our agents. So this is quite cool. And then I thought I'd just throw in. I don't want to use the mouse to fly the airplane, so am I stalling now? So I thought I'd throw in the gesture control. So when your agents are building, whatever application you want, or if you want to build a custom application or agent interface, the way we've designed it is all the features and capabilities within the main application are available to the agents within whatever custom application or interface you ask them to create for you. So as you can see, obviously the main application can be controlled via voice and with hand gestures. So we pass this across to the creation of custom applications as well. And then when your agent, they have access to this, they know how to use it. So, and here's my cat. That's why I'm standing and wearing white, because my little, let me share him with you. My little white fluffy likes climbing on me with his white fur, and then I'll get covered in fur in 10 minutes. So hopefully you don't see the fur in this picture. Okay, let me sort him out and I'll be back. Much nicely, look what you did, lighting. Yeah, back. So why have I shared this example with you? What can this do for me other than create, cool applications for me to use, etc. What does this mean to me? So because we've integrated our application front end and back end completely through artificial intelligence in a specific framework that opens up this new technology, this new application to everybody. So, in this example I've just shared, okay, cool, you can control and fly the airplane using, your hand gestures, which comes from our main application. Okay. So as our main application, maybe I can quickly go into, you can just have a look. So here's some of the things you can, some of the settings or whatever the case is for the gesture control. So as we update and improve this specific functionality, all of your applications automatically get updated and so forth. So why does that matter? You, where this stands out, or why this is important to somebody like you, is you don't need to worry about all the software technical libraries. Libraries are changing, they don't exist. Complicated, or the maybe some of the other applications you've seen out there are extremely complicated to do this thing called creating an agent, right? And it should really be easy and accessible to everybody. And again, that is how we've developed this application for you, is to make it accessible to everybody, right? So let's get Sheldon here.
Hi, Craig.
Please, can you create agents for me to manage my invoices as well as my receipts? So it's literally as simple as that. You have some task or some use case where you would like or think your agents, or you can create agents to support you, and you can literally just ask Sheldon to create them for you. And as you'll see now, Sheldon will generate those agents for me, and we can start working with them. Okay, there we go. So Sheldon has now created these agents for me. So we have our two new agents. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them across to a new tab. So I'm going to create a new tab for them. So I can just you can just right click. I'm obviously using my hands now, but right click and then we can create a new tab. Then let me just put in a name. So let's move the agent across now. So what we can do is we can right click on the agent and then we can say move to new tab. Okay, this is actually moving it to a new workspace. So you can also have different workspaces where you group different, let's say, a group of agents together. So I don't know, you could have your professional workspace, your family workspace, whatever. So what we want is we want to move it to a new tab. So you can right click on your agent and then you can, you have a bunch of options. So we actually just want to move this agent to a new tab. So this pops up a couple other settings, so you can rename the agent, change the agent's picture, etc. But we want to go to a new tab. Let me do that for us. Covering the image. So let me mouse quick. Okay, so let's go off and have a look at this agent, and let's get them to create something for us, and then I'll explain to you where this all came from. So,
Hi, Craig.
please can you create a custom application for us to generate and manage invoices? If you can include a settings tab where we can add customers, add products, change our company information, and so forth. If you can also please include a dashboard where we can track the closure value, etc., of the invoices over time. If this dashboard can be graphical, so if you can create graphs to display the invoice management over time. We can just switch across to custom applications. So here you can see your custom applications. Obviously, this agent doesn't have any yet. You can also import applications that your other agents have created, or via the share URL. So let's go back. Okay. Now we can ask this agent to go off and create that application for us. So where this actually came from was when like I said, when I was walking up and down the passage just under 2 years ago, and sort of figuring out the non-negotiables. How am I going to ensure that Sheldon is always the most advanced application out there, so that people using Sheldon and having agents working with them, in their jobs, at home, whatever the case is always better than and more effective than anything else out there. So one of those non-negotiables was that whatever I need to do or whatever I do has to be done through Sheldon. So Sheldon must be able to execute that task. And the first challenge that I ran into was it's just over a year and a half ago, about when we had our first enterprise customer, and we partnered with our first enterprise customer. Obviously, then I had to send invoices out and track them, as well as manage that payment and so forth. And obviously, the first thing that popped in my head is I'm just going to do it myself manually. And then obviously, I went back to, no, I have to, whatever I do, I need to do with Sheldon. So then at that stage, I got Sheldon to create an invoice management application for me, which I then use for my enterprise customers. So let's go off and go off. Let's open up this application. So he's gone and created it. Let's see how it looks first off the bat. And I mean, as you can see here, You don't need any technical skills. Let me scroll back up. So there we go. We've got our custom application. Can create. Obviously, we don't have any invoices yet. The dashboard will be empty. We can add customers. That's quite nice, actually. It's like little tabs. So anyway, that's quite cool, actually. This actually looks nice. Well, obviously, it looks better than what I did a year ago. But yeah. So, and again, like the libraries that get used. Let's see if this actually. Okay, and it's created the dashboard, but it's actually very nice. There's obviously nothing on it. But for example, this dashboard, it's using a library that draws charts, okay? And that library then gets automatically updated for you. So you don't need to have any technical knowledge or worry that it's going to fall over at some point. Your applications, literally, whatever you want to do with your agents, you just describe it to them, explain it to them. Maybe you want something else here. You can explain to your agent, please change this, I don't know, I don't want monthly invoice trends, I want weekly, whatever. Click update application, and there your custom agent interface will be updated for you. And so when your agents are going off and executing their daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, whatever the case is, workflows, tasks for you, they don't just need to interact with you via plain text. Okay. So like in this case, there we go. So just quickly, I created a few customers and it's got the settings. So I just randomly created some customers, created some products and services, and then threw in just two random invoices. So yeah, you can see it works quite nicely. So now, this agent can then go off, do this for us. In our actual application, what we've done is we have an agent that goes through our emails every day, and then it looks for any incoming payments that we've received, and then it moves those PDFs across. And actually, interestingly, this example was also on the AI Advantages channel. And apparently, he was paying thousands of dollars a month for a similar application. Whereas he also did, I'm not sure exactly what he did, but applications like this can save you lots of money. So even, I mean, this recording, these videos, initially I had a software application which I was paying for in order to record, content, and it actually didn't do. There was a couple of things that I wanted to change, wanted to add, etc. And something that I literally had never thought of was I actually then just got my agent, hey, can you build a streaming application for me? And that's what I have. That's how I'm creating these videos. So I'll share that my video generation application for you as well. And now that's actually saving me money. I don't have to pay for that software subscription, and I've created the application with a couple of features that I want. So yeah, let me go back to our main marketing agent, and we'll continue. So something I just glossed over when we created our agents now to manage our invoices was that when you ask Sheldon to create agents for you, even as simple as we did now, where we just said, create agents to manage our invoices, Sheldon goes and he creates the framework for that agent on how they work, how they interact, and so forth. So if we go back now to our invoice management agent, let's go across there. So if you go across to the framework tab for any of your agents, you'll see Sheldon has pre-populated a full context or framework that this agent works in. So there's the agent's personality, their skills, roles, responsibilities, etc. So, and Sheldon will build this based on the type of agent that you've asked him to create. Or you can say, please create this type of agent for me and give them this type of character. Or I want them to work this way, or I want them to interact with me in a certain manner, etc. that what we've also tried to do is keep the application that users interact with as simple as possible. So what we've done is we just display a few of the memory structure. We just display a certain portion of the memory structure where you can update, change, the way your agent works, etc., without obviously showing the full memory structure, which is massive. So let's go across. So what you can also do, so if we go here to framework, so this is now that marketing agent, and this agent has their framework. So you can either update your agent's framework via tapping into these various fields, such as the agent's character, their personality, what's their procedures that they follow, and so on. Or you can also just tap into the text box where you ask questions and so on, and just say, please update your personality, that you're more humorous, or you're more analytical, or you're more argumentative, whatever the case is. And then then you can go off and click the update framework button there. And then the agent will go off and update these various fields based on what your request is. So, so what this makes me think of, I got the agent to quickly search YouTube for me, was this scene from Interstellar.
A giant, sarcastic robot. What a great idea.
I have a cue light I can use when I'm joking, if you like.
That'd probably help.
Yeah, you can use it to find your way back into the ship after I blow you out the airlock.
What's your humor setting, Towers?
That's 100%.
Let's bring it on down to 75, please.
Stage 2.
Anyway, and that's literally how you can interact with your agents. So I have like I have a CTO type role where I bounce ideas off this agent on potential ways we can update our application, etc. And I've set that agent up to be very argumentative, to challenge my ideas, to evaluate what's good about the ideas, what will work, what can't work, and so on. Then I have another like marketing type agent, and that agent I've told the agent to be sarcastic, humorous. When the agent looks at the question I've asked, the agent first gives like a humorous, sarcastic summary of what I'm asking the agent to do before being more serious and giving an actual answer. So you can update your agents to interact with you, complete tasks, etc., however you like. So for those of you that also are in that category that aren't sure if artificial intelligence is going to be as big as it is, or on the fence, do I need to start working with this new technology, etc. Let's just get our agent to search the internet for us.
Hi, Craig.
Larry Ellison, net worth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a normal web search so you can see how that looks. So I'll get that agent off doing that. And then I'll also send it through as a request. So I can also say, for example,
Hi, Craig.
please can you search the internet and explain what created the massive change in Larry Ellison's net worth last week? So your agents, one of the tools they have available to them, besides interacting with your files, folders, various drives, emails, and so on, is we've created a custom Google search engine where your agents can then use that when they're completing their various tasks and so forth. Or you can just hit the web search button, and that literally does a search on the internet for whatever your query is, and then generates a report based on information it found on the various websites and obviously the context of the agent and so on. So if we can have a look at, if we go to the application area, click twice. So here's just a normal web search. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move myself to the side so you can see a bit more. So here we go. Here's the net worth. Here's the web search results. We can scroll around. We can go down. You can see there's all the links, etc. the bottom, you can see there's the links or references that were used when generating this report. You can also then go across and have a look at the full web search links. So these are all the top links that were found when the web search was completed. And you can obviously go through them, see if you want to, click on any of them and research further. So, and this is the type of thing your agent is doing when you ask them to complete tasks or they're executing workflows. So the agent actually triggers a second agent, which goes off and executes this task while your main agent is doing whatever work is required. And then that second agent just gives, the meat, the useful part of the web search result, similar to this, based on whatever the query was. We can also, if you like, you can also include images and so on. I'm just going to move myself back to my spot there on the right. And then we can also, we also just did a normal query. So here's just the normal query where the agent, on the back end, you can see there the agent has searched the internet, it's got all the links, etc. And in this case, now the agent has explained to us. And I think here, if we look at my hand here, Larry Ellison, $100 billion richer. And this was in one day. So for those people that are on the fence, is artificial intelligence here? Is it coming? Do you need to start looking at it? Is it worth your while, perhaps? Well, if this man, one single man, in one day made $100 billion due to the increased activity on the net, on the cloud infrastructure due to artificial intelligence compute, it's probably time to start looking at this technology and seeing how you can use it. There's this narrative. There's two sides to this, let's say, argument. Some people are in the camp of, if you don't start now, it's too late. You're gonna miss out. You're gonna never catch up, and that type of thing. And then there's other people in the camp of, well, if artificial intelligence is going to be so good, why do I need to start now when, I might as well wait and start learning in 6 months or, a year when it looks completely different. So from my experience working with artificial intelligence, building artificial intelligence here, using Sheldon to build Sheldon, so using AI to build AI, there's two big things that are, I think, sort of promote or in favor of the argument of get started now. The first one is when using these agents and interacting with them, seeing what they're capable of, learning how to use them, I've come up so many things that I never would have thought of have sort of popped out. So for example, this video recording application that I'm using now, I never would have thought that I can create something like that, or it would be beneficial, or it would save me money. I have the presentation building application, which I'll also share with you guys, where initially I thought, okay, PowerPoint, I want to create a presentation, let me use PowerPoint, or with the presentation interface or application that we created, you can create your presentations straight or within AI Sheldon or within your agent's framework. And then your agent can go off and update it, enhance it, and you can change things. So like, for example, we wanted to be able to embed a complete website, which I don't know if you can do that on PowerPoint, or you probably need a degree to do that in PowerPoint. Whereas now it's just one click of a button, add a web page, And so little things like that, I'm not going to go into too much detail. But using the application and using these agents, seeing what they're capable of, how to interact with them, right now, you can start getting benefits and saving money, or making yourself more proficient in whatever sphere or whatever section of your life you like. So that's one of the big, I think, reasons that I get goosebumps. That it's great to see what people are doing now and how bad goosebumps, how it's benefiting their lives already now, even before this sort of inflection point when artificial intelligence is going to be at a point where it's as good as most people. So so that's one of the main sort of suggestions of why to start using it now. The second part of it is, as you work with these agents and as you interact with this new technology, you start learning a way to communicate, a way to explain or describe what you're looking for, describe what outcome you want, how you want your response to look like, whatever the case is. And you start learning how to use this technology step by step. And that learning is priceless. And you actually really want to learn at a point where the technology isn't amazing, because then you understand the sort of fundamentals of what's happening in the background, what the models are doing, what the interaction between the various models are doing, and so on. So that I think is key, as well as, most, like I said at the start of this, a lot of people just aren't sure what can this technology do. And if you look at the way we've built the application, we've tried to keep it as simple as possible. I touched on the memory framework, where we give you the top, or the, let's say, five of the memory structures that directly influence the way the agent interacts with you and completes tasks. Okay, but we haven't given the full 30 or whatever number it is, full memory structure, because you just want these things to be happening and working in the background, right? So similarly here, you can just ask your agent. So, this, our marketing agent, let me pull up. So we've shared a couple files with this agent. So I can look at, I just went into the file explorer and I've hidden my email address. But you can share files with the agent throughout your various drives, Gmail, SharePoint, Microsoft OneDrive, Business, whatever the case is. You can share the various files, specific files that you want the agent to be able to access, as well as folders that you want the agent to be able to create new files into, or read the files that are in that folder. Okay. But even this, we try to keep it minimalistic. Okay. So we don't have a million options here. Create image, create Excel document, update and edit this Excel document, or create an Excel document with this information. All of that it just happens in the background. So by starting to use the technology, use the application, you'll start to get a feel for what the capabilities are, where the, let's say, current limits are, and so on, so that you can start growing with this technology. Maybe I'll also just touch on, let's say, the email integration. So we've tried to enable the capabilities while still maintaining control, and the users. You want to look after your privacy and your brand. So, and again, you don't have to use this. So you don't have to integrate your emails, or you can integrate your emails and just not ask the agents to create drafts or send emails. It's up to you. It's up to you how much you want to start integrating and utilizing this technology.